pursuit of royal fashion, you can have some great successes and some catastrophic failures. And this week is about a catastrophic failure because I got a pair of shoes on the pre-loved market that I was assured, or at least strongly assumed, were actually what the brand that they stated that they were. However, when I opened up the box, I got a terrible, horrific surprise because I figured out pretty quickly that these shoes were actually not the stated brand. And I am not super happy, so obviously they're going back. But as you look for royal fashion, because some of it is very, very expensive, but you can find a dress or a pair of shoes or a purse that of royal made on the pre-loved market. But how do you make sure you actually get the correct product or correct brand? How do you make sure you're not getting a dupe? Because there's definitely a huge market out there for designer dupes. And this is a product that I really did not think would fall into that category. But like I said, I was sadly mistaken. So we are going to talk about this today. But if you guys haven't been to Royal Fashion News, my name is Brittany and I look at royal fashion, tiaras, all the things that are fun and glitter and shiny. So if you guys are interested in that, feel free to hit that subscribe button. All right, so dun dun dun. What was the product that I attempted to get? So this is one I'd been thinking about doing because I have a whole video planned at some point and I actually have some of the products I'm going to use for it. I'm figuring out what royal shoe brand is actually the most comfortable because it seems to be Vito Rossi, but I would prefer to do my own test. And so I have a lot of royal shoe brands. Some I've gotten pre-loved. I actually have some of Catherine's like original shoes from like 2011 when she was first married in, because you can find those on the pre-loved market. And so I have Vito Rossi, I have Jimmy Choo, I have Aquazzura and Emmy London. And so one of the other brands I was looking forward to, because I've seen a couple royals wear them, like Queen Rania and Meghan Markle as well, are Dior pumps. And so I was on the Real website and I was like, oh my gosh, these are like Dior pumps. They say that they're red and that they're hardly used. I'm like, this is great. This is exactly what I've been looking for. So when I got them, I was super excited and I saw them late at night. I was editing the Crown Report, which is a podcast I'm starting to do, looking at royal news throughout the week. And it's sort of a long editorial process. And so I was getting a bit frustrated. I was having mic issues and all these sorts of things. So I was just like looking on the Real website, needing some retail therapy to help me get through the editing process. And I saw these and I'm like, yes, this is what I'm looking for. And then I got them and it took like a week to get them, which was rather annoying. Wish I had, although maybe not, paid to get them sooner because then I could have known much sooner that these were actually fakes. These are not real Christian Dior pumps. So how do I know this? How do I know this? Because this is very important because if you are on the pre-loved market, I've gotten a couple things from the Real that I don't have any question on their realness, you could say. So we have these Jimmy Choo pumps. I can't even remember how much I paid for them. It might have been less than 100. These are the Cosmic, I think they're called Cosmic. Catherine wore these in about 2011 until like 2015 a couple of times. She has the black pair. I happened to find a purple pair. And so I was like, well, these look like something I would need for that video. I also have Vito Rossi and I have other pairs, but one's satin, one's patent. And I really need, or more leather. And I really needed a suede one because so many of the royals have these suede shoes. And it's like, I own Vito Rossi. I purchased them directly from Net-a-Porter and whatever. So I was like, I knew these were real. There was just nothing that stuck out to me going, oh, these are fakes. Same thing with Jimmy Choo because I have another pair and I was like, these are real. I got it. But when I opened this, I kind of figured out pretty quickly and my excitement level dimmed quite a bit as I opened up and realized they weren't the real thing. So one of the signs was, I think, the dust bag here. Now it's funny because there's actually a dust bag that's sort of attached to one of the other shoes I own, which I'll show you, that I think is just where the shoes sit until they're sold or something, but it doesn't have the brand on it and it's not the actual dust bag. So this is what they call a dust bag. You can put your shoes in it to kind of keep them, or your purses to keep them safe or whatever. So this just feels very cheap to me. Has a Dior, sure, the font looks right, but it just feels kind of cheap. It's kind of a cheap fabric. And there's actually another thing is that I have another pair of Dior shoes and actually each of the shoe has their own dust bag. They don't have one for both. They actually have an individual one. So I'm like, that's not right. Now the tissue says Dior on it. Again, I don't see anything too fake about that really. But what got me is when I brought out the shoes and I was like looking at them and they have a little bit of the tapered heel here that you can see that the Dior is kind of known for, which I thought was always kind of cool. That had kind of came in a bit. But here's what got me is when I looked on the back and I saw that very cheap looking Christian Dior logo. It looks so cheap and it's wrong. Now, I remember seeing this part in the beginning thinking that might have been fake, but I've seen other shoes online where I'm like, okay, this part is in some other shoes, this kind of logo. But the logo in the back, that is what got me. Because I was like, that looks so totally fake. It looks so totally cheap. It looks so cheap. And so I was like, darn. And so I went on a great mission and I looked, okay, am I wrong? Am I getting this wrong? And I looked and I found a couple different examples, probably a couple ones that are also dupes, but these are not right. They don't have this, it looks cheap, and the font isn't right either. The font actually isn't right. And so let me show you what the real thing looks like. So these are, here you got Dior, this is the individual pump. Now I actually got these from Nordstrom Rack for $200. I kid you not. I was so excited. They're actually not technically my size. They're probably a little smidge small, but I forced my feet into them. They're 36 and a half, so about a 6.5. And so there's these sling backs, and you have, this is what the back of this one looks like. And here we have the back of this one. I don't know about you, but I can tell a difference. So the big difference here is obviously the star, and then it says Dior. That's a big difference here. And it also in the front, at least the newer ones, just have it embossed here where it says Christian Dior. And this one has, again, the little label. So very, very suspect. And I got these from Nordstrom Rack. Look great. And like I showed you, individual dust bag. But I got another pair. And these I actually did get from Dior and Harrods. Yes, mother. I know I'm bad. And there's these sandals. And so it has this bag that says Dior on it. So individual dust bag. And it just feels a little bit more high quality than the fabric that's in the fake. And so this is what the actual Dior logo looks like. And you can kind of tell it's a C and a D, but it almost looks like two Ds or something. And so you see this and you can realize they're very, very different. And you still here on the bottom, you have, it says Dior, you have the star. It doesn't have the little metal part, but it says Dior. It says the size. Obviously has Christian Dior, obviously, right there as well. I mean, these are nice. I haven't actually even put them on my feet, to be quite honest. It's just very disappointing. I'm just very disappointed. And the reason why I thought to get these on the secondhand market is that I've seen Royals have Dior pumps, but they actually don't sell them in store. I've never actually seen one in store. I'm sure they're there somewhere, but I've gone in a lot of Dior stores and I've never actually seen just a plain pump. They'll have pumps like this with the Dior. They'll have other things like that, but they don't have more of their plain pumps that I've seen Royals wear. And so when I saw them on the secondhand market, I was like, great, because I don't know. I guess you would have to go in and maybe ask for them. Maybe there's something you have to ask for. And so I was just like, darn. And I mean, inside, it doesn't look terrible. It has, I mean, even the model number thing doesn't look quite right. So there's what it looks like with the regular Dior. Then we have the fake one. So, I mean, they tried honestly, and you'll notice too that this is more of a textured, I think maybe it's a leather sole or something that this one has, and this one has more plastic. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. These Gianvito Rossi have them. But when I was looking at a lot of the Dior shoes, they all had a lot of this bottom and not this one. So again, that was like another sign that it's not exactly the real thing. So you could ask yourself, why am I telling you all this? Because obviously I love Royal fashion and I love getting my hands on some of it, but I really don't want to pay full retail price. And so I do look on the secondhand market, and I think you can get real things from the real. But I would hesitate again to get something from Dior unless I really, really looked at the back of the shoe before I purchased it. And I probably wouldn't get anything that says new, because I think that was what got me. It's like, it's new. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And I can tell those have been worn. But it's just something where it's kind of, I bit before I really thought about it. I kind of jumped on it when I really shouldn't have. And I think we all feel that way, at least sometimes it's like the pressure, because how they do it is they consign things. And so they put something on, and if that particular product goes away, you have to wait until somebody else sells theirs or consigns theirs to the real to see that product again. And so it's kind of, there's like a pressure there. So I shouldn't have bought into the pressure. And I would say as well, I think I still would have picked up on that they weren't real. But the thing is, I think sometimes you have to have the actual product or be familiar enough with the real thing to go, oh, that's fake. Again, because the Jimmy Choo shoes, the Gianvito Rossi shoes, I have those shoes from a store where I know it was real. I paid full retail price. I really wanted it to be real. Actually, I've never paid full retail price for Gianvito Rossi. I've gotten them all on sale. And so you can get them on sale from major retailers. And so I could compare them, and there was nothing that stuck out to me as I opened it up going, oh, that's wrong. And so I think that is a big thing. If you're going to buy secondhand, do it. Save the money 100%. That's part of the reason why I bought the red ones is like because I needed suede. I didn't really want to pay $700-800 for a pair. So I'd rather pay, I think I paid like $150 at the most for those. And they honestly look great, guys. I mean, I think there's some discoloration on one of them, but honestly, these things look great. And you can't tell that much. And so if I wore these, like nobody would know they're secondhand. Come on. I'm totally for a secondhand purchasing market, but I think to actually be able to do it well, you need to know what product you're looking at. And I just didn't think a Dior pump. Why would anybody knock that off? Why wouldn't you go for like the main things? Like this. This I understand knocking off. I understand knocking off this. I don't understand knocking off a plain pump from Dior. I just don't get that. But obviously there's a sucker born every day because I was a sucker. Yeah. All right, guys, update, because obviously I'm in a completely different ensemble, even shorter hair, but we have an update to this video because I actually did order these from The Real. And so these are real Christian Dior pumps. These were much cheaper than the fakes I purchased actually. And you can just tell by the style and everything, you know, you had the heels. Obviously they're pretty worn and that's fine because this is more about having an experiment than anything. But you can really tell just kind of the difference here, how this inside looks and everything looks correct. And then I also have the back has the star, Dior, and the stitching inside, it seems very similar to the pair I own. You have just, everything looks very much the same. So I am confident these are actually real. The sad thing though is I've been looking on The Real and I've just seen a ton of fakes. Yes, so yes, I look through there and I see a decent amount. So a couple of tips, obviously, when you see the CD, like you saw on the back of those shoes, that's pretty much a sign that they're fake. It seems to be, to me at least, that the Dior and having the star is sort of key. As well, because even these sandals also have the star here, even though it's not the metal plate as it is in these two. The star is actually there because I've seen other shoes that say Dior on the back and looks pretty similar to my other ones. But one of them had that really, really fake, obviously so fake, C and D on the back of the heels. I remember seeing that going, that is so obviously fake. That is so incredibly fake. So, I mean, I feel like that's really, really sad that you do have to identify that. But again, when you're searching for secondhand stuff, there's just a lot of great things that you can find and you don't really need to buy retail. I do buy retail and I get some great deals on stuff and I'm going to do another video on that. But when it comes to fakes, unfortunately, there are proliferation of those and even on The Real. So be careful what you purchase. Like for me personally, I would not purchase probably a handbag from them. That's just my personal opinion, especially like Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Dior, some of those things are really highly knocked off. I'd also not buy Christian Louboutin just because, again, highly knocked off shoe. The Dior though, again, surprised me because I really thought who would want to copy a Dior pump? But there is apparently a market for those because I saw an incredibly large amount of those pumps on the Real site. And I was just looking through. And again, I think the key here is the Dior, the star. Even I think the kind of the numbering inside is very similar. So I am confident these are real. And I paid a fourth of the price for these than I did for the other ones. But obviously these have a lot of issues. There's a lot of like damage on the back of the heel and stuff. But these are more for a video I'm up doing. And I'll do actually a couple of variations on this because I'm just curious to test and see what royal shoe is the most comfortable. Because I do have here basically all the different variations of royal shoes you could possibly have. Pretty much. I'm missing a couple of brands, but I have very many of them. Dior's included. So I can do one just overviewing generally which shoes are the most comfortable out of all what the royal ladies have. And then I also have an idea for maybe a Catherine versus Meghan, because Meghan has worn these style of Dior pumps. Catherine has not. So let's try Catherine versus Meghan, who has perhaps the most comfortable shoe wardrobe. We shall see. So guys, obviously some of that is personal preference though too. But guys, I hope you appreciated this video and I will be showing off the ones I got that are actually real, hopefully very soon. And obviously as well, don't buy in a time crunch because There's a package over here that I did, and I wonder, is it a good idea or not? I'm not entirely sure, but we shall see. So guys, again, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you oh so soon. Bye.